Hey friends, it's Heather. I have another layout to share with you for my creative scrapbook. And there's my background. I thought I was recording and I clearly wasn't. I started out with a piece of white cardstock and added a layer of clear gesso, and then I used the packaging technique and my brush and added some shimmers. Pop Art Pink, it's one of my favorites. It has this gold shimmer in it, and then a Prima spray. It's called Cotton Candy. Nothing special, just added it on, sprayed it on. I was inspired by one of the pattern papers in this collection from Indigo and Ivy, which is what the kit is filled with. But I didn't want to use it on this layout, so I was trying to recreate it. So what I am doing here, this is an exclusive cut file offered this month, and I wanted to add sequins to it, and this was a little bit of an experiment. So that's how I plan to layer the cut file on my background. I'm not necessarily going to just put it on, the way it was intended, just as a square. And actually the cut file is much smaller. If you see it, and I blew it up, and I'm just going to lay it on my background at an angle. I did go through some of the pattern papers and just cut out some of those pieces to back, just a few of the areas, not all of them, because I want some of the mixed media to still show through. So I'm just, that's from the cut apart sheet, and so I'm just trying to spread the pattern and color around. And then what you saw there with the sequins, I was testing it out, and I will go back and add more. But I took some sequins from my stash. They're clear ones that are all different sizes from Pretty Pink Posh. And then I have some pink ones. I think they're called Pink Lemonade from Studio Katia. And then some gold ones from my stash, but I don't know where those are from. So I just took the 3 sequins and I layered them sort of randomly and stitched them through the closed areas. Like, they almost look like flowers. So I didn't do all of those areas, just I picked some, and a couple are going to be covered up by my photo. So right now I'm just gluing the few of those pieces to back some of those open areas. And then I will glue it down on my background. I am using my fine line bottle. It has Scotch quick dry glue in it. And so here I'm just poking holes. I'm marking which, I had already marked with a pencil which sections I wanted to add sequins to, and I'm just going ahead and poking holes through it. And I am just using I think it's just white thread. Yeah, white thread and a needle. And I am just layering up the sequins. Some of them are big, like 6mm, some of them are smaller. And then I go ahead and just cut off the excess. I am marking with my ruler the edge of the paper there. And don't throw that stuff away. Actually, I'm not sure if this video will go up before my mini album, but I did create a mini album with this kit also. And I used these leftover pieces on some of the little tags in my mini album. So they were some pretty big sections. So yeah, I don't throw that stuff away. Because there's sort of some small pieces along the edge, you could go through and glue all of those down, but I actually take my sewing machine and machine stitch through the border of this cut file, and then I go through and stitch through the center part on a few areas. So this is really not complicated. If you have some sequins and thread and a needle, it's pretty simple. I was trying to figure out a way to finish it off nicely, the thread at the top, but really all I did was tied a knot at the end, obviously, go through the paper and layer 2 or 3 of the sequins together, and then I tied a really small knot. So there it is, all done. There's, I'm showing you, I stitched through some of the center portions and around the edge. I layered my photo with some vellum, and I am using these gold die cut words. There's a whole pack of them with this collection. There's some gold foil and gold glitter. I don't end up using them. I wanted to use them, but I didn't. And I love the way that this turned out. I love the background. If you're familiar with that collection, my inspiration was this pink pattern paper, and most of the background is pink, and I didn't manage to make my edges pink, and had I thought about the way my cut file was going to be before I started the mixed media, I might have shaped it a little bit differently, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. You start on your background and you get into it and you start working on it, and next thing you know, it's mostly covered up, or sometimes it's not in the area, but it didn't make a big difference to me. I love the way that it worked, and I love this collection too. And to be honest, I normally don't pair pink with navy, but I know that is a super hot combination. So this is a picture of my mother and my daughter. My mom's getting some snuggles in there, and I think my daughter's enjoying it, but at that age they don't want to show it. I am taking some of the stickers from the collection included in this kit and just layering them up. Some of them have some sentiments on them that didn't quite work, so layer them up. Use them the way you need to. You don't have to just stick them down. Oh, yeah, that was my husband's hand, if you noticed him. They always seem to come in and want to talk while I'm recording. So they think it's fun to stick their hand in there. Anyway, I actually, this kit, I used up pretty much every little bit and scrap. I'm super excited to get this collection. It was so fun to work with. I love the colors. And I really enjoyed making this layout. I think it came together really well. I'm gluing down some butterflies, and of course I'm just gluing down the center. Sorry, I'm out of frame a little bit there. I'm just gluing down the center, of course, so the wings could pop up. They will get flattened eventually in the page protector, but I think there's still a hint of dimension there even when they're put in your album. So you can't go wrong with hearts. I think I'm going to add some more hearts, and I'm just playing around with some of the stickers. I end up adding a few more down below the title, and I decide to add a couple of clusters, not a couple, 3 clusters, so I add them around the butterflies. I stick some of the sentiment stickers and hearts in those areas, just to give you some interest while you're looking around the page, I guess. I pop up some of them on little pop dots to give even more dimension, and I am making sure I don't cover up any of my sequins, because even though that wasn't super time consuming, it's a detail that you put some effort into, and why cover it up? It's also really hard to glue on top of sequins, so if you've ever tried to do that, not easy. I'm going through and pulling out more little pop dots. When I use pop dots on a layout, I realize every time, the thought crosses my mind every time I pull them out, and I have so many different types of little pop dots. Do you ever get in sort of a a gung-ho kick about some products at some point. Sometimes it's pop dots, and sometimes it's sequins, and next thing you know, you've got this whole big stash of them. Am I the only one? Maybe there is a craft product or scrapbooking product that you just can't say no to. I'd love to know what that is. I have a few of those. So I'm just adding more stickers. I'm layering some of them on some scraps of pattern paper just so they stand out more. And I'm using my T-ruler just to make sure that I get them straight, which is funny because I think in the end sometimes, even though I use that T-ruler, they don't always come out straight somehow. But that's part of the fun. I mean, it's a handmade project. They're not necessarily supposed to be perfect. And they won't be. Not to everybody anyway. But as long as you're enjoying what you're doing and having fun creating. I am terribly sorry. I'm totally out of screen here, but at least you can still see what I'm doing. I am very carefully placing these stickers with my tweezers. I think sometimes when you pull little stickers like that off your sticker, the sticker sheet, and you don't glue them around or you handle them a little too much, they definitely lose their stickiness. So I have to go back and add some glue to those. I'm adding more pop dots to the hearts that's going to lay. Oh, and yeah, I got to add that down. There's some fun foam on the back of that in a nice, bright, non-coordinating yellow color, but it doesn't matter. You won't see it. And my title ends up being Beautiful Love. Might sound a little cheesy, but it is my daughter and her Nama, and it is beautiful. Even though you see her face there, she's really trying hard not to enjoy that hug. But they do. So I'm going in with more pop dots, which I have to since I popped the photo up on Fun Foam, and I have those stickers and die cuts layered over top. You want to make sure they're all on the same plane. So I am cutting up more of that fun yellow foam. I'm not usually particular about the color of the fun foam that I use behind most things, if you can't see it. Now, if someone takes the time to tip your layout and look at all those layers, they're probably going to see a whole lot of not very pretty things, because we do all sorts of stuff to create a layout, and some of those layers are not exactly nice, but it doesn't bother me. I would love to have just white and black fun foam just to make it easier when you're placing things down. You don't have to think about it. I have seen big sheets of white foam, but I have not seen white foam with the adhesive on the back, which is not a deal breaker. But the only white foam I've seen have been in large sheets, and the fun foam that I get from, I've gotten it at Michael's and Walmart. It comes in a pack of, I don't know, maybe a couple of dozen, either 5x7 or 6x8 sheets, and they're all different colors, black included, and that is the only kind I have found. Maybe there's more online. If you have found white foam with adhesive on the back, I'd love to know. Please leave me a comment. I'm curious. So I am still fiddling with these little stickers. There was a lot of little stickers on the sticker sheet, a lot to work with. I was trying to make sure I spread out the color, which is something I do often. A little OCD about that. I go in with some splatters with that's a shimmers, and it is called, I don't remember what it's called. It is a dark blue. Mama's Blue Jeans, I'm pretty sure. Mama Sings the Blues. That's it. Mama Sings the Blues. It is a really nice dark navy color, and it matches this collection wonderfully. I'm also going in with some Nuvo drops. Mentioned in my previous video, there's a couple colors that work really great, both crystal drops. Here are the finished shots. I hope you enjoyed watching and you are inspired to try something I did on your own. Thank you so much for joining me and watching. I appreciate all your likes and your comments. I hope you're having a great week, and I will be back soon with another layout. Thanks again. Bye-bye.